Alexander Ovechkin is a Stanley Cup champion. Hopefully he doesn't light the cup on fire. Breathe it in, Caps fans. I'm so jealous. For the first time in their 44-year history, the Washington Capitals are Stanley Cup champions. Alex Ovechkin and company were seen at a Las Vegas club sipping champagne out of the Stanley Cup. I have a popcorn maker that doesn't even really work well. Do any of you have this? Have you tried it? It's not good. Oh, this is sad for me. This is bittersweet. I'm in a weird spot emotionally. This is supposed to be the last video. Last, because it's the final game. It's the game that decided the Stanley Cup. But I have at least 2, possibly 3 videos left to do because I'm doing videos after every game in the Calder Cup final between the Toronto Marlies and the Texas Stars. So this is supposed to be closure after a long season, but for me, it's not. Another thing that makes this weird is after game 1 between these 2 teams, which Vegas won, by the way. Remember that? I said that I didn't really have a favorite, and I meant it. Both teams had such great stories that it would have been great no matter who won. And the Capitals won. The Caps! But before I congratulate Capitals fans and before I talk about the game, I gotta address Vegas Golden Knights fans. Now, I hope nothing that I or anyone else you've talked to about sports this season has sounded condescending, like you've never watched a sport before just because your city didn't have a team. Your city has had teams. They've even had hockey teams. Curtis Joseph played in Las Vegas. Did you know that? But you've never had an NHL team before. Golden Knights fans, this is the biggest loss in franchise history. I know that's not much consolation right now, but that's pretty good. The Stanley Cup does not necessarily go to the best team. That's too easy. If there were a real best team trophy, it would probably be the President's Trophy, and ask Capitals fans how much they care about that. Going through the playoffs and winning a championship, though, winning the Stanley Cup is something else, and it's so much more difficult because after an 82-game season, it's 2 months of war. There's no blips in the schedule in the playoffs. There's no unfair advantages where you played the night before and they didn't. You're tired, they're minty fresh. You're not changing, playing a different opponent from night to night to night. You're locked in with a team for 4 to 7 games. But you get battered and bruised and worn down. It's not the best team going into the playoffs, it's the best team coming out. And not exactly the biggest sample size, but the Washington Capitals won decisively over the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's quickly talk about this game. Caps fans, I'll make you cry after. First period, no goals. But it was a great example of why I think people are picking on Marc-Andre Fleury a little bit. I mean, the numbers are real. He was spectacular rounds 1 through 3, and now he's kind of had a little bit of regression. Didn't have a great series, and by the numbers, didn't have a great game 5. And even though he only faced 9 shots in the first, which is pretty normal, they were crazy saves. Helps when you get a little bit of help from your defense, and he did not get that on the first goal of the game. Derek Engelland coming in on Braden Holtby, shoots, misses, goes around the boards. Now, I do not get too much into the X's and O's because I didn't hashtag play the game, but let me tell you, I am a right-handed shot defenseman in EASHL and NHL 18. That same play has happened to me 1,000 times. If you bomb it at the net and miss and you don't have anyone backing you up, you're screwed. Derek Engelland realizes what's going on, but it's too late and he is just not fast enough to catch up to Jakub Vrana. Wilson with an amazing pass to Vrana, he's streaking in, McNabb's back, but he's not gonna catch him. Boop! What a snipe, barely even looked like it went in, and Vrana gets his 3rd of the playoffs to put the Caps up 1-0. Yes, his 3rd of the playoffs, but his first since Game 5 against Pittsburgh. For those of you keeping score, that was over a month ago. Hey, better late than never. But then very shortly after, this is what I'm talking about with Marc-Andre Fleury. Christian Juice is just allowed to walk in. Fleury's got to stop him. There's a mad scramble in front, but luckily there was a defenseman, Colin Miller, there to clear the puck this time. You say Fleury cost him the series. I say imagine how bad it would have been if he wasn't there. Midway through the second, Vegas' top line, Marchessault, Smith, Carlson, they're just working the puck around. They're looking a little bit closer to the line than I expected coming into the series. Schmidt gets it in the high slot, shoots, bing! It goes off traffic in front, specifically Matt Niskanen skate, and it is a 1-1 tie halfway through the game. Are you having fun? Nate Schmidt scored against the Capitals in an elimination game because the hockey gods poop on your heart for fun. Good for Vegas. Tie the game up. Get the home crowd into it. Seconds later, Braden McNabb trips Alex Ovechkin, Capitals power play. I'm going to give you my expert hockey take on this one. That sounds like a problem. Talk about a momentum killer. The Caps are working the puck around in the power play. You can hear them announce the Vegas goal. Back from over the Ovechkin spot, shot from the Ovechkin spot. Who was it? Ovechkin, they scored. His 15th of the playoffs, wow, makes it 2-1 Caps. And he was a little stoked. Do you imagine Vegas bars after this game? Did you guys run out of vodka? We ran out of potatoes. Oh god. Oh, but the game's not over, is it? Oh, the period's not over. This wouldn't be a Stanley Cup playoff game if there wasn't a little bit of controversy. Couple minutes later, Colomelo takes a shot and the puck goes in, and Marc-Andre Fleury appears to be the victim of a frog splash, a finishing move made popular by Eddie Guerrero of the WWE. Actually, that's a bit more of a swanton bomb. So what happened there was Christian Juice and David Perron got into a net front battle. If I'm honest, I'm shocked Perron was not called for a penalty. I thought it was going to be a hold or a trip if I'm honest, but they didn't call that, and that is why I actually agreed that this is a good goal. I think Perron had an initial infraction on Juice. That wasn't called, they got tied up, and Juice basically like shoved him into the net. Perron is basically not allowed to leave the crease, and he's stuck behind Holtby. What's he supposed to do? And to add insult to injury, they award Perron with the goal. That's mean. That's so mean. Thank goodness the Caps won. I don't want to know what Twitter would have looked like if they lost by 1 goal. Final minute of the second now. The Caps got the lead because Alex Ovechkin drew a trip. As the second period winds down, it's Ovechkin who's called for the trip on William Karlsson. Very little time left on the power play, and in the period, Shea Theodore puts it on. Alex Tuck gets it to Riley Smith. Wide open net, Smith scores! Yay! Yeah! Woo! There was a huge scuffle right at the Caps net, and Riley Smith's reaction was priceless, especially in slow-mo. Because at first he's not even looking like, yeah! Like what a hurricane of emotion. You just scored a goal to put your team up in a Stanley Cup final game on home ice. But also that man is punching my friend. And now we head to the third. Now, in games like this, I don't like picking on one guy. It's not easy when you kind of wear the goat horns in your team's final game of the season. Oh, Lucas Spiza. Spiza's got the puck, he goes behind his own net, Smith Pelly hits him with pressure, and he crunches him into the board. Vegas is not able to clear the zone, Brooks Orpik gets it, just throws it on. Spiza seems to have forgotten about the nice fellow who hit him about 3 seconds ago because he's standing right behind him! Yeah. Devontae Smith, Bobby Orr! Bobby O from Scarborough ties it at 3s. I'll stop talking about him when he gives me a reason. With his 7th goal of the playoffs matching his goal scoring from the regular season in over 70 games. As I mentioned in previous videos, he was traded straight up twice. Once for Stefan Matteau and another time for Jakub Jarabek. And this guy scores a goal in his 3rd straight Stanley Cup final game. Are you joking? This guy scores with half a period to go. Vegas is half a period from game 6. And now it's tied. Mark Bergevin sitting at home like, how could this get any worse? And all of Denmark goes, glad you asked. Under 8 minutes to go, Spiza with the puck behind the net. Completely goofs it up to Andre Burakovsky. In front to Connolly, shoots, stopped, I think, maybe? The puck sits right under Marc-Andre Fleury's butt like the egg that Spiza just laid, and Lars Eller says, Happy Easter. Dane bringing the pain, Denmark's the spot, and if the Capitals can hold on to this lead, they win the Stanley Cup. Ow. Now what's one more injury before the season's done? Holtby with save, block shot! And with the clock winding down, and by winding down, I mean standing still. What the? By the time they stop the play and the refs get on the phone and they try to figure out what's going on, I'm like, is the game over? Okay, remember when the Blackhawks won the cup and no one celebrated because they didn't know that they scored? The clock running out without anyone noticing would be so much worse. They put a little bit of time left on the clock. Capitals clear it, and that is the... Nope, they're gonna do another face-off. Seriously? Did Vegas claim Tyler Toffoli and I didn't see it? He's screwing it up for everyone, making them think they have a chance? As they're lining up for the face-off, I couldn't help but think about Washington Capitals fans. It's been 44 years. What's another 0.6 seconds? They dropped the puck one last time, and the Washington Capitals are finally Stanley Cup champions. Caps fans gonna make you wait just a few more seconds. Vegas Golden Knights fans, your team made history this year. Your fan base made history this year. Your city made history this year. This sport can be so stuck up and stupid sometimes, and you made every aspect of your team about fun. You didn't hit the mark with everything that you tried, but you did more than most teams, and that's try. Oh, this pregame show is so... Shut up! It's awesome! Have fun, live a little! This just reminds me of the guy that the Senators brought out. That was nothing like the guy that the Senators brought out. That was awesome. You're awesome! To the Vegas Golden Knights, welcome to the National Hockey League. Not that you needed the welcome, you made yourselves right at home. Now, Caps fans, I need you to know that this video is late for a variety of reasons. There was a little bit of work to be done in the basement. I had to do another video earlier today, but also the Caps winning made me so emotional. The feeling you guys have today God, I want that feeling so bad. Because let's look at recent Cup winners. The Penguins win back-to-back, and before that they won in 2009, and before that they won in the early 90s, twice. Before that, it was the Blackhawks winning their third in about half a decade, and before that it was the Kings winning 2 in 3 years. And the Kings had to wait a very long time for their first Cup too, but not quite true suffering. Oh, they had to suffer, but Caps fans had to suffer. The team of Tantalus, always so close to filling their bellies and quenching their thirst, only to somehow get thwarted every time, mostly by the Penguins. And then you finally do it! And even more satisfying still, on your way to your first Stanley Cup, you beat the Penguins en route. Oh, doesn't that just make it... Oh! Question for Caps fans, how many walls have you run through today? That's the best! That is the best! Ovechkin with the Conn Smythe and people barely complained about it. I was watching the game with friends, they're like, who do you think's gonna win it? I said Kuznetsov. They gave it to Ovechkin, my friends looked at me, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Forever dunking on Nate, taking a slap shot from the Ovechkin spot on every critic. Oh, I don't back check. Oh, I'm not a student of the game. Oh, our team doesn't have any backbone, we always crumple. How about you crumple your opinions into a ball and stuff them in your mouth and shut up forever? Because look at this, who has it? We do! Ah! Go ahead and send your hate this way. Oh, it didn't get through. After so damn long. This is Ian Olin from Russian Machine Never Breaks. Look at this. Come on. Come on. Yeah! Oh, yeah! Capitals fans' long suffering and this enormous relief is what I want to feel so bad as a Leafs fan. And not to make it about the Leafs, but I'm about to make it about the Leafs. It'll be even better. Oh, it's satisfying for you because you've come close so many times. It's going to be more satisfying for Leaf fans because we've never come close at all. Except for that high stick that happened when the Mighty Ducks were just a Disney movie, who have since also won a cup and the Leafs have not. I'm so happy for you. There's so many excellent storylines. Look at this from Sportsnet's Chris Johnson. They are holding a viewing party in the middle of the night in Lars Eller's hometown tonight. He's trying to become the first Dane to win the Stanley Cup. Guy scores the cup-winning goal. Devontae Smith-Pelly, I mean, the whole game was just a Montreal Canadiens subtweet. The little guy. Barry Trotz on Christian Juice. He's a 169-pound defenseman. We were laughing. We didn't know he could lift the cup. Yeah, that's funny now. He was strong enough to haul David Perron down, leading to the second goal. And also, Barry Trotz gets the cup. Ovi and Backstrom holding the cup side by side, and other guys who have been there forever. Jay Beagle, Braden Holtby. And first Dane, first Australian. Born in Cardiff, Wales, but raised in Australia, Nathan Walker went to play pro in the Czech Republic. Then USHL. He was allowed to play for the Caps farm team, the Hershey Bears, in 13-14. The Caps ended up drafting him in the third round of 2014, so they drafted a guy they sort of already had. Spends parts of 4 seasons in the American Hockey League, including the ECHL. Finally makes his debut with the Washington Capitals. Scores against Montreal. Why is it always Montreal? In his first career NHL game. Doesn't score again. Has trouble getting into the lineup. Gets put on waivers. Gets claimed by Edmonton. Plays 2 games for them. Gets put back on waivers and gets claimed back by the Capitals. Plays 1 playoff game and it's against Pittsburgh and he gets an assist. Not the biggest part of the machine, but not every part of the machine is big. There's little nuts and bolts and screws that hold everything together. And that's what the Capitals were, and we looked past that. We forgot. They added Shattenkirk last year and they had Mr. Game 7 and Justin Williams and they lost both. But heading into this year, they knew they were going to have to get some special performances from unusual spots. Lars Eller was given a bigger role and he was great. Smith-Pelly showed the hell up, not just in the playoffs, but in the final. Braden Holtby lost his job temporarily, got it back, and was one of the best goalies in the playoffs. And similarly, Grubauer deserved to hoist that cup above his head because he was a huge part of the team this year. And there's going to be some hardships ahead, Caps fans. Yeah, there's the prospect of John Carlson's imminent departure, but more than that. Lots will be debated and lots will be said. But for now, at least until the parade is over, for crying out loud, enjoy the thing. You owe it to yourself. Oh man, what else? Tom Wilson's a Stanley Cup champion? That's not gonna make anyone mad. No one on the Steve Dangle podcast mad. Let's do some questions to wrap this up. Is Patty Marleau the player who deserves to win a cup the most now? Yes. But what about... Yes. How great is Lars Eller? I'm kidding, mostly. Are you trying really hard to get me to say Great Dane? Are you my dad? Did you see Burakovsky point out that... Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about. Nope, didn't see it, can't talk about it. What's the plans for this summer? I'm not there yet. I got a few more videos to do for the Calder Cup final, and then there's obviously obviously the draft and free agency, etc. So hold your horses. I won't keep it a secret. How much money do you think DSP and Kempney earn on their next deals over these playoffs? Well, Kempney plays defense, so he's going to get paid no matter what. DSP is interesting because his current contract is a lot less than his previous one. But look what happened. He's young, by all means, get your money, but make sure you're in a good situation. You gotta roll and you're able to play it well. Is Ov still drunk? Duh. Saw a few people tweeting about hangover scenarios where Ovechkin loses the Stanley Cup. It's not gonna be like The Hangover. There's not gonna be a scene where Ovechkin wakes up, oh, he's just gonna be like, he's fine. Ovi best talking! And with that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'm not done making videos for the season. Tell all your friends, and congratulations to the 2018 Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals. It's about damn time.